Tom's father, just like before, got a VIP concert ticket and hopes this time Tom will accept and go to the concert. The story is that Tom is in love with Michael Jackson, and after Michael's death, his obsession with him and his music grew even more. Tom's father, a famous music producer who's worked with many top artists, always has VIP concert tickets. To better understand Tom's love for Michael Jackson, Tom's room is filled with old posters of him. From the desk to the walls, everywhere you look, there are Michael memorabilia. Back to the story. Tom is sitting on his bed with headphones on, listening to Billie Jean at full volume. Tom's father enters the room, gives him a ticket, and says,
"This is for the weekend's concert. I'm sure it'll be worth it. I know you're obsessed with Michael, but I got this ticket for June 25th, hoping it might be a chance for you to forget about everything."
Tom's father knows that June 25th is Sarah's birthday, Tom's girlfriend, and hopes Tom will agree this time. Tom refuses the ticket, saying,
"You know, I'm only in love with Michael's music. I'm not interested in other concerts."
When Sarah finds out the ticket is for June 25th in Las Vegas, which is also her birthday, she asks Tom to go as a birthday gift. After Sarah insists, Tom finally agrees to go, but his heart is still with Michael Jackson. The night before the flight to Vegas, Tom sits alone in his room with Michael's calming music playing in his ears. A feeling inside him tells him that this concert is more than just a music event. The concert hall is full of people. Colorful lights illuminate the space, and the atmosphere is charged with excitement. The Weeknd is performing his famous songs. The loud music and cheers from the crowd shake the hall. Tom, still a little bored, notices a man wearing glasses and a large hat whose face looks familiar. Tom squints his eyes. The man looks strangely like Michael Jackson. Though his face has changed a little, it seems to be him. Tom pays closer attention, his heart begins to race. The man adjusts his hat as if he doesn't want anyone to see his face. Sarah notices Tom's strange behavior.
What happened? Why are you acting like this?
Tom, in a trembling voice, says,
"That man, he looks like Michael Jackson."
Sarah looks at Tom in disbelief and says,
How is that possible? That man might just look like him. Michael Jackson can't be alive? This must be a joke, right?
Without saying anything, Tom stands up and heads toward the man. His eyes are filled with excitement. As Tom approaches, the man briefly looks at him, the same look Tom had seen many times in Michael's videos. Sarah follows him and calls out,
Mr. Jackson?
The man quickly turns around and starts moving through the crowd. He gets faster with each step. Tom yells,
"Michael, wait!"
The man tries to move toward the exit through the crowd. His anxiety is visible in his movements. Sarah and Tom rush to follow him, but the crowd is packed, making it difficult to move. Tom is determined to find the man. He's sure this face is not unfamiliar to him. Eventually, the man disappears into the crowd, and Tom stands there, feeling lost and disappointed. Sarah stands beside him, out of breath, filled with questions. Tom whispers to himself,
"That was Michael, I'm sure of it."
Sarah confidently says,
Tom, Michael Jackson has been dead for a long time. You just want the rumors of him being alive to be true, but the reality is, he's gone.
Tom pauses and asks in a questioning tone.
"But what if it really was Michael?"
Sarah, with a little doubt but confidence, responds,
I think you're mistaken. But if I were you, I wouldn't give up on those rumors either.
Tom looks at Sarah, surprised, and Sarah, with a brief smile, says,
Then, why are you still standing here?
They quickly begin searching the area around the concert. They stop in streets, run, and excitedly look around, hoping to find something. Amid the chaos, Sarah suddenly points and signals Tom to look at a man entering an alley. Calmly, without making a scene, they begin to follow the man. The man enters an old house. The door quietly shuts, and Tom and Sarah decide to wait until he leaves. Hours later, the man emerges from the house. Tom and Sarah decide to sneak inside. Inside, the house looks completely normal. The walls are plain and the furniture is ordinary. Tom, with suspicion, says,
"Looks like we made a mistake."
Sarah suddenly calls out loudly.
Tom, come here.
They walk into a room that looks like a makeup room. There are hats and glasses on the desk. While examining the room, a deep, familiar voice comes from behind them.
Looking for something special?
With fear, they quickly turn around and they can't believe what they see. Michael Jackson is standing there looking at them. Tom, eyes filled with tears, walks toward him without saying a word and hugs him tightly. Tom, with a trembling voice, asks,
Why did you fake your death?
Michael takes a deep breath and says,
My death wasn't just a choice. It was the only way I could protect myself.
Tom asks again.
Why did you do it? Why did you have to hide?
Michael smiles gently and says,
Living under the gaze of the world was always hard. I didn't want them to see how I was falling apart.
Michael continues,
This life has always been full of disappointment, especially when the world never let me be myself. This decision was my way of escaping.
Tom, with a look of disbelief, says,
You owe your fans a goodbye.
Michael softly replies.
No, I don't want to go back to that world full of lies.
Tom, deeply upset, says,
My dad can fix everything. This is our right, my fans and I.
Michael firmly rejects,
No, I don't want anything to change.
and he kicks Tom and Sarah out of the house. They leave the house and Sarah looks at Tom and says,
Maybe there's still hope.
Tom sadly says,
Why can't he understand? I'm his fan.
At that moment, Michael opens the door and asks.
Can your father really do this?
Tom walks toward Michael, signals to Sarah, and says,
This is the chance.
Tom grabs the phone, thinking about his dad. He thinks to himself, is this the right decision? Should I tell him Michael Jackson is still alive? A heavy feeling weighs on his heart, but something inside urges him to make the call. Tom finally calls his father.
Dad, come to Vegas right now to the address I'll send you. Don't ask anything. Just come quickly.
After the call, Tom's father immediately looks for a flight ticket. He manages to get a last-minute flight to Las Vegas and hurriedly packs his things. On the plane, he worries about Tom's call and tries to guess the reason behind his concern. After landing in Vegas, he immediately takes a taxi and heads to the address Tom sent him. Tom's father enters the house and freezes in shock when he sees Michael. Tom, with excitement and indescribable enthusiasm, says,
Dad, Michael is alive. Believe me, he wants to do a farewell concert with our help.
Tom's father, whose face is usually calm and composed, is now filled with amazement and joy.
This really feels like a miracle. We must do this the right way.
Tom and his father sit around a table and begin planning carefully. Calls are made to managers of big halls, advertisements are designed, and coordination for billboards and banners in various cities begins. The process moves quickly. The concert's announcement goes public, and the news about the concert, without mentioning Michael Jackson's name and titled The Surprise of the Century, explodes in the media and on social media. Tickets sell out in a few hours. Everyone wants to be there for this historic moment. A wave of excitement spreads across the world. The big night arrives on March 23rd. The large hall is filled with a crowd. The lights dim, and a hush falls over the audience as the stage prepares for something monumental. The air is filled with anticipation. Suddenly, the lights flicker and an eerie silence overtakes the hall. The crowd gasps as a figure emerges from the shadows. It's Michael Jackson. The audience erupts into applause. Tears of joy fill the eyes of those who have admired him for so long. Tom stands in the front row, watching in disbelief as Michael walks to the center of the stage. Michael, with a grin, begins to speak.
You've all waited so long, and now I'm here to show you the truth.
The crowd is overwhelmed, some shouting, others crying. The world's most famous pop star is alive, and his fans' dreams have come true. Michael begins his performance, his iconic moves and voice filling the arena. It's like time has stood still, and for a few hours, the world is back in sync with the king of pop. Tom, standing near the stage, watches as his hero performs. He's overwhelmed with emotion, knowing that the impossible has just become reality. As the night comes to a close, Michael stands at the front of the stage, thanking his fans. He says,
This is for all of you who never gave up on me. I promise I'll never leave you again.
The concert ends with a standing ovation, and the world knows that Michael Jackson's legacy will never die.